Hello everyone and welcome to another unboxing video. I am BBD and for the first time I'm going to be joined by...
CVM. Well, not the first time. First time doing this.
Yeah, first time doing this. Usually we're battling magic cards and today we're going to be battling plastic.
Yeah.
Or whatever
We'll
material.
be flexing our booster pack cracking skills.
Which are quite high for the
Yeah.
record. So we've opened a lot of packs. But today, yeah, we're going to be opening Dragons of Tarkir, which is the most recent set released by Wizards of the Coast.
Absolutely. And hopefully we can open some really sweet things. Now, it is called Dragons of Tarkir, so hopefully we'll open some dragons. It's not Warriors of Tarkir.
I was really hoping for Lizard Beasts of Tarkir.
There is a good lizard beast.
There is, yeah.
Called Death Mist Raptor, but as far as actual cards and value in the set, it's actually very good right now. If you enjoy cracking packs but don't want to lose a lot of value doing so, I highly recommend Dragons of Tarkir. All of the Dragon Lords are worth quite a bit of money. Ojitai even being up to $35 right now.
Yeah.
It's been a while since there's been a card in Standard that's been worth $35, and we're like, over a month after the set's actual release. So there's a lot of value in the set, and I definitely recommend opening some packs.
Which is exactly what we're about to do.
Yep.
All right, let's crack into this pack if I'm capable of doing that. I think I just paper cut myself, but yeah.
Be careful. You might have a lawsuit on your hand. Don't get hurt.
I also did spill a hot cup of coffee on my lap while I was doing that, so all right, so here's the sweet box of Dragons of Tarkir. Let's kind of move this off to the side.
See if we can open some dragons.
Yeah, see if we can open...
Or planeswalkers.
Well, we didn't open a dragon, but we did open a Kindled Fury. Yeah, I did cut myself. Huh. Okay. It's awkward. All right. Well, here's a Flatten. It's not a dragon, but it is probably one of the best commons from the set. And, wait, did we not get a rare? Oh, we did. It's Profound Journey. It took a bit of a Profound Journey to get to that card, but it didn't pay off, so... We did get a Narset emblem.
That's pretty sweet.
A Bard Narset emblem, so... we'll go ahead and throw that there, and I'll ship you that rare, and throw some of these on over here.
Let's see what we get.
Alright, let's go ahead and crack pack number 2 and see...
Hopefully it's profoundly better than the first pack.
Yeah, certainly... Alright, let's see if we got any... Oh, we got old Sexy Hexy here. Conifer Strider.
I actually really like that card in Limited. I think you can definitely build a deck around it, especially if you're able to snag some really late rune marks in the last pack.
Yeah, you can also if you get some Dromoka's gift action, you can... oh, Rending Volley. It's a nice kills Deceiver Exarch.
For sure.
Ooh, Ire Shaman.
I actually really like Ire Shaman. I don't think that it's going to come into its own in the current format, but once the actual rotation happens, I have a feeling we're going to be seeing Ire Shaman a lot more.
Yeah, he's definitely a powerful card. Maybe not quite as powerful as Den Protector, but he's a very similar type of card.
Absolutely.
So there's definitely room for him to shine. We'll go ahead and drop him there, and actually, we'll keep the zombie token because we might need that later. Get rid of those guys. All right. As you can tell, I'm really just a stone cold pack opening master. See if we see anything sweet. I really like this card actually a lot.
Press the advantage?
Yeah, it's very good with Conifer Strider and Limited.
Yeah, not even just Conifer Strider. There's not an absurd amount of removal in the format, and it's just all about getting as much value out of your cards as you can. And any time that you could potentially 2-for-1 your opponent, it just has a lot of potential.
Yeah, definitely. And we have a Corpse Weft, so that's a card that you can open in a pack.
It is, and I think that it's just like secretly a powerhouse. Like a lot of people don't give it enough respect, but I think that Corpse Weft is one of the few cards that has the potential to just take over a game. Okay. And there's not a lot of enchantment removal to see in play.
Yeah, I mean, basically you do get to double the power of whatever creature you get off of it. And with the right kind of like graveyard dump strategy, like Sidisi and things, you can actually get a lot out of it. Hopefully we'll get a lot out of this pack.
Yeah, no mythics yet. Maybe we'll get a Narset to go along with our emblem.
I mean, no mythics, we did get a Territorial Rock.
I mean, how can you lose? And a Marsh Hulk?
Yeah, I mean, we're already off to a great start. Let's see. And... Ooh, there he is.
Can't go wrong with Lizard Beast.
Yeah, there's Lizard Beast of Tarkir. So far, Lizard Beasts are beating dragons in terms of Tarkir power at this point.
That is true. I kind of wish at the Pro Tour in addition to the dragon counter they had on screen, they also had a lizard beast counter. That would have been pretty good.
Yeah, lizard. How many lizard beasts did we see? I definitely saw a few.
Not enough.
Maybe not as many as I could have.
I'm gonna put this one to the side because it's sweet.
All right, that seems fine. Are you trying to say Profound Journey isn't sweet?
Correct.
Is that what I'm hearing? Wow. Just cold as ice.
Let's see what we got in this one.
Another flatten. This guy's really good.
Yeah, the 2/5 death touch.
Yeah, he's
How
a
do
house.
you beat that card?
I don't. You
Sarkin's
don't.
Rage, I guess.
Yeah, you have a 5-power guy, I guess. Ooh, hey, look
Back
at
to
that.
back, we're just building constructed decks.
Yeah, we're just building constructed decks as we open packs. We even have a goblin token to go with it.
Absolutely. So, for those of you who aren't aware of the synergy between these two cards yet, Deathmist Raptor, while it's in your graveyard, whenever you turn a creature face up, you'll be able to put it into play either face down or face up because it has Megamorph. But Den Protector is a very good morph card that you can play alongside your Deathmist Raptor. So as games start to go long, you're able to use Den Protectors to you turn them face up, you get a card back from your graveyard, which could conveniently be another Den Protector.
Yep.
And at the same time, you get to bring back all of your Deathmist Raptors that are in your graveyard. So as games start to go long, this engine is going to be very difficult for your opponents to grind through. Plus, they're kind of difficult to block. Deathmist Raptor has Death Touch. Den Protector has a pseudo type of evasion, lets it attack through like Course of Crufix and Sylvan Carrier did. So these two cards work very well together. I think it's kind of funny that we open it back to back.
Yeah, that is pretty awesome, and it's also convenient that Den Protector is also just very good by himself.
Yeah.
Even if you're not Deathmist Raptoring, he's probably just a very powerful card. Eternal Witness with a little bit of downside and also a little upside.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the best cards in the set.
Almost as good as Coat with Venom,
Almost.
but not quite.
I actually think that card's very good unlimited though.
It actually is very good. I like this guy too, but this is my favorite common in the set actually.
Just a 5/5 for 5.
Yeah, it's just a country 5/5.
But it's huge. Like the format's just a bunch of tutus.
Plus he gives all you guys. He's overrun on a stick. He gives all you guys trample.
Yeah.
He's just power. Ooh, Silumgar Scorn.
One of the cards that is starting to shape how you play Magic in Standard.
Yeah.
Counterspell and Counterspell variants like Mana Leak have been deemed too powerful for quite some time now in Standard. And now we have just an actual Counterspell that makes it so that the only drawback is that you have to play dragons in your deck. Is that a drawback?
Yeah, the drawback is you get to play the best cards in the format in your deck.
Sure, why not?
All right. Ooh, Self-Inflicted Wound. This was a good pack.
This was a good pack.
Self-Inflicted Wound is quietly becoming one of the best cards in Standard as well. Kills Dragonlord Ojutai without having to worry about them attacking with it first because of the hexproof, and also it's just very good against like decks like Abzan Aggro and stuff too. Just actually surprisingly almost main deckable. Almost as main deckable as Berserker's Onslaught, right?
What does that card even do?
Attacking creatures you control have double strike.
All right.
It's a yeah. I
Sure.
mean,
I could see worlds where you want that.
where you're attacking with creatures and you want them to have double strike.
Yeah, that works for me.
All right, yeah, we'll throw it in the non-good pile.
How good do you think that card is in limited?
Probably not very, to be honest.
Yeah, I think there are a lot of commons or uncommons I would take before it.
Like Pinion Feast is actually pretty. Pinion Feast is surprisingly good, as is Sandcrafter Mage.
I think Sandcrafter Mage is probably the best white common.
And then this is a card that was like really kind of innocuous. I mean, it's just a common, but it also has the ability to shape Standard, where if any control decks become way too good, like having access to Duress along with Thoughtseize, and even Den Protector too, you can just really destroy someone's hand if they're trying to control the game rather than, play into the board.
And we saw that in the past. In the last Standard format, with Sphinx's Revelation, having access to Thoughtseize and Duress was a pretty big game. And now we even have Despise. So we have 3 1-mana discard spells that you could play.
If you really wanted to.
Yeah, just get them out of their hand.
Yeah. All right. Swift Warkite is probably the best of these uncommon dragons in terms of limited is concerned. It's a mythic uncommon, is what we call it.
Yeah, he's very good.
Also, Draconic Roar is really powerful in Standard as well. Much like Silumgar Scorn, people are playing dragons.
Yeah, I do think that Draconic Roar has changed quite a bit in Standard, and I actually had a lot of success with that card in the Open in Syracuse here in 2015 that I was able to win with Green Red Dragons. The card is Pretty innocuous to where you think that it's just going to kill a creature, but the 3 extra damage that you get out of it adds up quite a bit and makes it so that cards like Thunderbreak Regent and Stormbreath Dragon can end the game before your opponent actually has a chance to catch up, which is pretty important when there are a lot of tempo-ish decks using cards like Stoke the Flames that can kill you out of nowhere, so you have to be able to put pressure on.
Yeah, it also undoes Siege Rhino.
That's just pretty cute.
Yeah, it is cute. And I already took a sneak peek at our rare, and let's just say we were not very blessed with this pack.
No.
It is a Blessed Reincarnation.
Yeah, we are not very blessed.
We are not blessed at all. It's basically a polymorph buyback, but you can only get your opponent's creatures.
Yeah, I don't like that at all.
Yeah, the best part of polymorph was always getting your own guys, and the sweet things you could do with that.
Oh, the days of turning 0-1 plants into Emeralds.
Yeah, those were days. I don't know if I'd say they were the days,
Yeah.
but
More like nights, LA and Chauncey Dreaming, basically.
yeah. All right, let's see if we got some Virulent Plague, interesting uncommon here that's actually showing up. I thought this was going to be kind of a dud, but people are playing enough Hordling Outbursts and things where Dragon Fodders, where Virulent Plague's actually seen some play.
Not even just Hordling Outburst, but it's good against cards like Goblin Rabblemaster.
Yep.
And until recently, with the Abzan control style decks adopting the Deathmist Raptor Dent Protector engine, you used to be able to just board in Virulent Plague against their Elspeths, and they had a very hard time actually beating you.
Yeah, they would have to take it up to Ultimate before they begin to do anything with it, and you can generally kill it in the meantime there.
Yep.
All right, and we have an Obscuring Aether, which is
What does this one do?
obscuring my hopes for sweet cards that we open.
So this is one of the few cards that I think is really interesting. I don't think that there's enough there to build a deck around it, but I was kind of hoping that they would play around more with having non-creature cards be face down as morph/manifest.
Yeah, Lumen Thread Field style.
Yeah, Zoetic Cavern, kind of like they had in Future Sight. They didn't do so, which I imagine because it would have just been a little too confusing, to be honest.
Probably.
Having Morph, Manifest, and Megamorph all together, plus having lands and enchantments being able to be face down, I think everybody's head would have exploded.
Yep. They didn't want to obscure things too much, so
Yeah.
they did away with that. All right.
No Dragon Lords yet.
I know.
Lizard Beasts are winning.
We were running real bad.
Lizard Beasts and Human Warriors.
All right. Well, here's a Dragon Lord.
It's prerogative.
Yeah. Not quite a Dragon Lord, but it's actually still a really good card.
Yeah, it's on the surface, it's just opportunity.
Yep.
But as the format is starting to shape up here in the current standard, we're seeing a lot of these Esper-style dragon control decks becoming very popular. And you're playing Silumgar's Scorn, you have your Ojutai and Silumgar's to turn them on, and this is a way to get some uncounterable card advantage, which is pretty valuable in the control mirror.
Yeah, I mean, both players are going to be sitting on a lot of counter spells, and you're going to want to counter like the cards that pull them ahead, which is like a card like this, which you can't counter. So yeah, very powerful in that regard. I'm going to put that in the good pile. You can also Den Protector it.
Yeah, that's a deck. Let's build it.
All right, already done.
Already done.
It's in my car right now.
I mean, at some point you could fit it into Craig Wesco's Bant deck.
Center Soul's a card too that hasn't gotten a lot of press, but has a lot of potential in the heroic style decks.
It does, and it was seen play in the initial builds, like Joe Lossett won and opened with it in his Jeskai Heroic deck.
Yep.
But then Tom Ross went and had to break the mold with Bant Heroic, and Dromoka's command is just much better than that card.
Yeah. Butcher's Glee is actually really, really good and limited to the point where some of the people on our team were first picking it.
Really?
Yeah. So it's something that you don't realize, but it's actually really good.
That seems like something that Ari Lax would do.
Yeah. Well, it actually wasn't even him. But all right. Ooh, Bloodchin Rager is a card that could definitely be a player if Warriors becomes a thing.
I agree.
The ability is really powerful. We've seen it before with like Pyreheart Wolf that actually saw some standard play.
Yep.
And then we have Sunbringer's Touch. Yeah, I want to call it Torch, which I mean, this card's really not that good, but
no, that's a lot of words on it though.
It is part of my dream combo in Limited, which is playing a 2-drop, and then on turn 3, bolster 3 onto it, and then on turn 4, you play Sunbringer's Touch, and then turn 5, you bolster 4. You just make your 2-drop like a 10-10 or whatever.
It's a lot of dice.
It's a lot of dice. It's a really dicey game because if they have a removal spell, you're going to lose. But if they don't, they just lose. So
All right.
It's called Living the Dream. But yeah, I don't think that card is really gonna ever see much light in Standard.
Probably not.
I think we've touched on it enough at this point. All right, let's see if we got some sweet gassy cards here.
Maybe.
Ooh, Seismic Rupture's a pretty good one.
That card's very good. It was in my deck that I won Syracuse with. It goes very well in like the Courser Caryatid style control decks, or Courser Caryatid style decks, where you want to sideboard into more controlling cards against something like the mono red deck that Martin Dang used to win Pro Tour Dragons of Tarkir. We're able to sweep all of their creatures, but still keep our Caryatids around.
Keep all yours, yep. And we have a Secure the Waste, which is actually a decent card.
I like it. It's the Todd Anderson special.
Yep.
He enjoys playing that card so much that he also hates playing it sometimes. And it's starting to get a little more popular. I know very recently on StarCityGames.com on the daily deck list digest thing that Jerry did, there was a blue-white control deck that used Raise the Alarm and Secure the Waste along with Planeswalkers as a way to actually win the game. That seemed really interesting.
And those cards are surprisingly good against decks like Mono Red too, where you can make a bunch of 1/1s that actually trade with their guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like this card. They also are warriors too, which is interesting to note because there are a lot of warrior-themed cards.
Raider Spoils.
Yep. Bloodshin Rager.
Yeah.
All right, let's see what this next pack has for us.
Hopefully it's a Dragon Lord.
Yeah, come on. We're really lizard beasting
I am
it
ready.
up. Ooh, Roast.
Yeah, Roast is very good.
Yeah.
I saw the rare. It's not a Dragon Lord, but it's still a very good card.
Is it? I thought it was.
No.
Ooh, and a Case of Nice. That's also really good.
Yeah, these are just great uncommons.
Yeah. It's a Dromoka's Command. I thought it was a Dromoka.
Yeah, it's not. It's
Not quite.
It's not Big Lady Dromoka, but it is her command, and this card's very good.
Yep.
It's being used in green-white X decks alongside Den Protector as a way to gain some value and then rebuy it once you get to the mid to late game. But it's also kind of changed the way that Tom Ross has built his Bant Heroic deck, which Ross Merriam just used very recently to win the SCG Open in Cleveland. And the card is just an all-star.
Yeah, it has 4 relevant modes and it's only 2 mana. Generally speaking, cards like that are going to see a lot of play.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's especially great in Heroic because you get to target 2 of your creatures with it. So you get to pump 2 of your guys and generally kill 1 of their creatures or something in the process.
In addition to fighting with Favored Hoplite, it's just not even fair because once you target it, it just doesn't take any damage.
Exactly, yeah. We'll go ahead and throw that in the sweet pile. I'm also going to throw this in the sweet pile too. Impact Tremors? Don't even know what it does, but we're going to throw it in the sweet pile.
I do, and I've actually seen this card in some standard decks. People trying to use it alongside Perforos and token generators to wombo combo their opponent out.
Ooh, wow, that's right up my alley. So
yeah, reminds me of Crackling Perimeter as that kind of build around me red enchantment card.
I've definitely had some. I've definitely lost a Crackling Perimeter before. So we have Stilmgar Sorcerer, and this card hasn't really seen any play, but it has a lot of potential. Like a 2/1 flash flyer, it's a counterspell for creatures for 3 mana, but it's also you can sacrifice like a ground creature and then have a flyer left over. Or if you have any creatures you can sacrifice for value as well. Stilmgar Sorcerer seems pretty sweet. It's definitely a card that could see some play moving forward.
Yeah, I think that it has a lot of potential. I feel like it's kind of in the same slot as something like Stratus Dancer in the current standard. I think the Stratus Dancer is just going to end up being better. But at some point, if those blue pips happen to matter, I could see that card seeing some play.
Get Nasty Thassa back out in action?
Yeah, why not?
Yep. All right. Ooh, we do have a Mythic here and a foil Sandstep Scavenger, which we will just kind of get rid of that guy. But we do have a Clone Legion.
Yeah, it's a lot of mana.
Yeah, it is a lot of mana.
And you get to clone some stuff.
A legion of them, actually.
Yeah, I think that this card gets better the more players that are actually in the game.
That's accurate, yeah. This is definitely a pretty sweet multiplayer card.
Absolutely, and I think that if it were like a regular rare or cost less than 9, it could potentially be very good. But as it currently stands, I think it's a great commander card, but not something I'd be excited to have in my limited pool.
Yeah, 9 mana is a lot when you don't have Soul Ring in your deck.
Yeah.
All right, let's see what else we got here. Just piling stuff on our tokens here. All right. Whew. We are just
More impact tremors.
we are going ham.
Do we have an
on-
impact tremor count?
Yeah,
We're
can
beating
we-
out the lizard beasts.
Currently beating lizard beasts. Another flat too, man. We're just flattening it up. Ooh, foul tongue.
This card's very good.
Yeah.
It's we're a long way from the days of Diabolic Edict, and we're happy to pay 3 mana for it.
Yeah.
And it's even seen play in the Abzan decks, which have literal 0 dragons.
Yep.
So it's just 3 mana sack a creature. But Ojutai is so good, it's worth it.
Yeah, and as we're opening these packs, I'm just realizing how many insane uncommons there are in this set.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot of good ones. Also rares too, like Assault Formation. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people worked on trying to make an Assault Formation deck work. It doesn't, unfortunately.
Not right now.
Not right now, but it's very Doran-esque, where if you happen to find a shelf for it, it'll be sweet. And it's definitely something that I could see in a lot of like casual decks or commander decks, but it's not something I think is going to line up very well at like an F&M.
Yeah, there definitely is actually a wall deck that plays this card along with Rally the Ancestors and Perforos. So
Oh wow!
it's definitely definitely an interesting one there.
I stand corrected.
We actually tested that for the Pro Tour. I didn't play it though, but I'm glad I didn't. All right, let's see if we got anything pretty sweet here. This is actually a pretty good Megamorph creature. Kills an enchantment or artifact.
Yeah.
There's a world where this sees play because of like Den Protector and Death Misruptor.
Absolutely.
And then this is kind of a Wall of Omens card, Orator of Ojutai. Could also see some play at some point. People are playing a lot of dragons.
Yeah, I've been trying to find a way to make Mardu work because I think that Crackling Doom is just like the best card in Standard that's not seen any play. And I have a lot of people recommending Mardu Dragons with Order of Ojutai, and I just don't see it. I don't think that the card's good enough with a limited number of dragons.
Mm-hmm.
Like, to play the number of dragons that you would want it to actually play this card means that you're playing it alongside cards like Stormbreath Dragon and Thunderbreak Regent, and that just feels wrong.
Yeah, you don't want a wall in your Stormbreath Dragon deck.
Yeah.
However, if Butcher the Horde was a dragon, maybe.
Yeah, for sure.
You could draw a card and then sacrifice it to Butcher.
It should be a dragon.
It should be a dragon.
Flavor fail.
It should be like Butcher of the Sarkhan. And we have a Living Lore.
Old Travis Wu special.
Yep.
I know he was brewing with it.
Yeah, so it's got a lot of text on it.
It does. I mean, you can, I want to say imprint, but it's not actually imprint.
Yeah.
You can do like, dig through time, treasure cruise, make it pretty big. But even then, you're just like spending 4 mana for something that's going to die to Hero's Downfall.
Yeah.
And get a card out of your graveyard, so now you can't delve it or whatever.
And it has to hit, first. So, anyway, your opponent has to remove it.
And at least you can pitch it to Force of Will, right?
That is true. Maybe some Legacy Brewing in the works. But Enter the Infinite in the graveyard?
Yeah. I mean, if they plow it, you gain like 1 billion life.
That is true. You gain, 12 life, I guess? All right.
Another Center Soul.
Yeah, we're centering up. There's a Tail Slash. It's a good common.
I mean, the card's very good, right? Like, one of the best cards from Theros Black Limited. And then this is
one extra
mana, basically.
Still good.
Fall of the Hammer + 1 mana.
Another Papa Roast in here. And we have Ojutai's Command.
I wish it was Ojutai instead.
Yeah, we keep opening the commands and not the dragons themselves.
Yeah.
This card's actually good though. Like it's not seeing any play right now, but it is still a powerful card, and we could definitely see it in the future.
Yeah, it brings back Soulfire Grandmaster, which is pretty sweet.
It does. Yeah.
And there are times where if you, in a pinch, if you need to gain life and then put like an Irrational Cleric into play from your graveyard, that's a pretty good way to stabilize against the red decks. But again,
sounds pretty irrational to me.
Yeah.
All right, next pack. We've gone almost halfway. Oh, maybe not quite halfway, but
still no dragon.
Ooh, we got this guy though.
That guy's real good.
Yeah.
Sabretooth Outrider is like quietly one of the best commons in the set for limited. It's just like a 4/2 for 4, but it does a lot more than that. Usually, turning on your Formidables can be pretty easy, and it makes it very difficult to block.
Yeah, 4/2 trample, first strike's definitely no joke, and it provides half a Formidable just by itself.
Yep.
That's game. All right, let's see if we got a dragon. Acid Spewer Dragon. Ooh, we got another dragon, Necromaster Dragon.
Yeah, it's just one of the cycle of rare 2-color dragons. I think they're all playable. The green-red one, I think, is the only one that makes me really excited, since you're able to do damage with it passively. But I think they're all actually playable.
Yeah, I mean, this one does produce a zombie that's untapped every single turn. It makes a blocker every single turn. So it's not that bad.
Not bad. Oh!
Oh, wow. Hey.
And a foil Dragon Lord Silumgar.
That is... Wow, we got 2 blue-black dragons in the same pack. Look at that.
That's a pretty good pack for sealed.
Yeah, that is a pretty good pack. And then we have this foil Dragon Lord Silumgar, which is... well, it's a foil dragon, so it can't be that bad.
Yeah, I'd play it.
Yeah, I'd play it. It's also really good. Like, it's surprisingly good.
Yeah, I think that Dragon Lord Ojutai is just like far and away the best dragon in the set, as far as like the Dragon Lords go. And I think that Silumgar and Tarkir are like very, very close as far as who the second best dragon is.
Yep.
And it's just very good. Like Sword of Temptation was a very good card. This can also take Planeswalkers, so like there's just going to be a lot of times where you'll just be able to sandbag it with the counter spell and take your opponent's Planeswalker and then ultimate it, which is just really cute.
There was definitely a point in time in the last tournament I played where I thought he was my opponent, and his hand was 2 Dragon Lord Silumgars and the Haven of the Spirit Dragon. And my hand is 2 copies of Elspeth, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to be winning this game.
Yeah, the card's very good. And it's foil, and it's expensive, so that's sweet.
Yeah, if this wasn't foil, I'd say we tied with the Lizard Beast count. But because it's foil, we've definitely eclipsed Lizard Beasts with dragons at this point.
+1.
All right. Well, it's going to be hard to outdo that last pack, but we'll see if...
a foil Ojutai would be nice.
Yeah, that would be a thing that could happen. And it is another dragon.
Yeah.
But it's Deathbringer Regent.
Yeah, so there's a cycle of regents, one for each color.
Yeah.
That are monocolor dragons. And the majority of them have like an ability that happens when they come into play, with the exception of Thunderbreak Regent.
Right.
Which, I guess the white one, the Sun Regent, triggers when your opponents cast spells. But they all just like do something unique and sweet. And
this one's basically Dune Blast.
Yeah, I actually think this one has a chance to see play at some point. In fact, when I was brewing decks for the first week of Dragons of Tarkir, I actually wanted to try it out. Didn't work out very well, but I think that it does have the potential to see play.
Yeah, definitely. All right.
Oh, Reaver Demon Dragon.
Speaking of dragons,
Dragon Fodder.
you have a Dragon Fodder, this is the first one of these we've opened.
Yeah, I mean that card won the last Pro Tour.
It did, yeah. It's a really good with Stoke the Flames, obviously, and sometimes just making multiple creatures is good against decks that are trying to play like one fat blocker. You can Dragon Fodder into Hordling Outburst and not care.
Yeah, it just really... It's interesting how the red/green deck that won the Pro Tour just had so much synergy in these just like innocuous cards.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like Monastery Swift Spear is a very good card. It's very aggressive. We've seen it doing well in Modern and even in Legacy. But it's also very good in Standard because we have cards like Dragon Fodder and Hordling Outburst, which are creatures, but also spells. So not only do they help fuel Delve for like a Become Immense, if you have it in your deck, but it's also triggering Prowess on your Monastery Swift Spears, and it's putting multiple creatures in play at a time, which are going to trigger your Foundry Street Denizen.
Yeah.
And then it all gets tied together with the Tarkus command. So it's just really interesting just how much synergy this deck has with just like a bunch of red idiots and burn spells.
Yeah, absolutely. It just all came together really well. As long as they don't have Drown in Sorrow, it's pretty good. Another Self-Inflicted Wound, and a rare here is Radiant Purge. So this is an interesting one because no one's really played this card yet, but it actually seems pretty good. Yeah,
the problem is that like there's just a whole bunch of other cards that have already been proven that are sitting on it, where you have something like
literally sitting on it.
Yeah, just like sitting on it, it's crushed.
Yeah,
where you have things like Glare of Heresy, since the creatures and enchantments that you're going to be taking care of with it are usually going to get hit by Glare. Siege Rhino, Mantis Rider, Jeskai Ascendancy, and then plus Glare has the added bonus of hitting something like Elspeth or Seeker of the Way.
Yeah.
So there's just these cards that sit on it, but I think at some point it might see some play, similar to how like Deicide saw some play during Theros block and then just kind of went to the wayside as the gods kind of stopped being as popular. I feel like Radiant Purge has the potential to see play at some point.
Yeah, I definitely think so. It's a powerful effect, not something to forget about. At some point in time, I'm sure people will be playing that card. We also got a zombie horror token, which is pretty sweet. Pretty horrible, if you ask me. Almost as bad as that pun.
Almost.
All right, let's see.
What do we get here?
Ultimate Price. We get the first one of those we've opened.
Yeah, it's just a great reprint.
Yeah.
Kills a monocolor creature. Although there are a lot of multicolored creatures seen play.
Also not colored creatures.
And not colored creatures
like
seen
morphs
play.
and manifests.
It still kills Stormbreath Dragon, and there's not a lot of cards that say that. So.
Yeah, sometimes you gotta make them pay the ultimate price. And speaking of dragons, we just opened a dragon-like card.
Yeah,
the card that has a dragon in the name of it. Yeah.
A Tarkir's command. It's definitely. I don't want to say it's the best command because I feel like Dromoka's command is probably the best command.
Yep.
But it's real close. But I think you can say either one, to be honest. I was in the Pro Tour winning deck. Potential to see some play in Modern. It's just an additional Skullcrack type effect in the burn deck, and it's just. I mean, whenever there's a normal rare that's approaching almost $10 in Standard, you have to know it's pretty good.
Yeah, this is the kind of card that's probably the best of all the commands in terms of formats older than Standard, where it basically is like Skullcrack or better for a lot of these decks.
Although I think that at some point we're just going to be playing Dromoka's command in Modern. Like, any card that you can use as removal that also counters something like Lightning Bolt, counters something like Anger of the Gods, and can stop this Splinter Twin combo, that seems like a good card.
Well, I will say that Dromoka's command was in an Abzan deck that did win a Premier IQ.
Well, there we go.
So, it's already there. All right, let's see. Open another pack here, see if we got anything sweet. I'm really up. I was just about to say, I was really hoping we'd open an Epic Confrontation.
Well, there we go.
There it is. It's pretty sweet. It is Sarkhan, not Sarkhan, but Surak.
Yeah.
Who is upgraded from, previously he was punching bears in the first set. Now he's punching dragons. It's a little bit of an upgrade.
Just a little.
Yeah,
I mean,
just a little bit.
How do you punch a dragon?
Well, it looks like he's got some elevation going on. I don't know. He can jump really high.
Yeah.
But it's also sweet because we also have this like penguin punching a bear playmat underneath us.
The polar punch playmat that you can get from playing in any of the Star City game opens here during Season 2.
Yeah.
You can get the polar punch playmat just for signing up.
So I would punch my ticket to the next open.
Yeah. Maybe
which is in Antarctica. So you will see some polar bears. Hey!
We got a Dragon Lord.
God, wow, that is awesome. We just opened a foil Kolaghan Stormsinger. And also a Dragon Lord Ojitai.
Yeah. Just actually the best card in Dragons of Tarkir.
Yep.
And to be honest, I think it's probably the best card in Standard.
It is, definitely, yeah.
I'm kind of happy that we picked up on it early since we all played it in the sideboard of our Jeskai Tokens deck the first weekend of Dragons of Tarkir Standard. But the card is just fabulous. Some of the best content written about it is by Jerry Thompson recently, and I suggest anybody that's interested in that, make sure you check it out at StarCityGames.com. He talks about how every time you cast Dragon Lord Ojijai, it just kind of puts your opponent in this tempo black hole where they have to try and progress their board to actually beat the card, but if they do, then they can't beat the card because you're going to connect and draw a card off of the Anticipate trigger. So it's only 5 mana, and they can't kill it when you put it into play unless they have a few specific cards. It's just very, very good.
The power of this card is why things like Foul Tongue Invocation are seeing play in decks that don't have dragons.
Yep.
Because you have to kill this thing, and that's one of the only ways to do it.
Yeah, there's not a lot of decks that can just ignore it.
Not at all, yeah.
Which is pretty absurd.
All right, let's...
Plus, it's a dragon, so that your Silumgar Scorn is just a literal counterspell.
Yeah, it really just does everything. It's just everything you could ever want. All right, let's see. Another Epic Confrontation here.
Which is actually one of the best commons in the set, too.
It is, actually. Definitely is. And we have Bloodchin Fanatic as our rare.
I think that if there ever ends up being a warrior, like a dedicated tribal warrior deck, this card's going to be in it.
Definitely. It is a 3/3 for 3, which is, the same size as Deathmist Raptor. It's not that bad. Yeah. And the ability gives you like a Timurat the Murder King style thing where you can just start throwing creatures at their face to kill them once your aggression kind of gets stopped.
Yeah, it's also pretty sweet since you can do it with something like Bloodsoaked Champion, where you can just keep rebuying it and flinging it again.
That sounds pretty good.
It's a combo.
And we have a foil dragon.
It's not an Ojutai?
And now it's a storm wing dragon. What do you know about storm blank dragon?
Well, I know a lot about Storm Breath Dragon.
Okay.
Storm Wing Dragon costs 1 more mana and is much worse.
Okay. Well, all right. Fair enough. Fair enough. Not quite the same thing.
I'd still play it in my draft deck, though.
I would too, actually. All right. Let's bust another one here. Bunch of random commons and uncommons. I don't know who Tygam is, but he likes to like scheme and strike.
Well, he is currently the head monk for Ojutai.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, that's interesting.
He also, in the actual storyline, this Tygam strike, he punches Sarkhan so hard he knocks him out of the building that he's standing in. So,
yeah, that's actually.
he's a pretty bad mofo.
I was making fun of Tygam, but he's now on my good list. So.
I kind of wish that he had a card.
Yeah, there should just be like Tygam, the Planeswalker puncher.
The Planeswalker puncher.
Yeah, absolutely.
OPP Tygam.
All right, let's. All right, Display of Dominance is a card that could see some play at some point in time, but right now it's just not that good.
Yeah, I mean the card is. I think if the format revolves around Ashiok trying to beat the green decks, that's when you want Display of Dominance.
Yeah,
that's just not where we are.
Nope. Another Storm Wing Dragon, and not quite the same. And I saw that this card was multicolored, and I thought it might be another Ojutai, but it's actually Pristine Skywise,
which isn't bad. It's just a dragon. This set is full of dragons.
Yeah, it's just it's a dragon. It's a really surprising card to open in
Dragons of Tarkir.
Yeah,
which is it's really fun playing with these cards because the previous to this set, like anytime there's just like a large flying creature in limited, it's just commonly referred to as a dragon.
Yeah.
Kind of like the adept was that was in Khans of Tarkir, like the 4 or 5 flying with prowess or whatever.
Riverwheel Aerialist.
Yeah, Riverwheel Aerialist. Like there's just a 6-mana dragon, but now they're just like literal 6-mana dragons that you could open at any point.
They're actual dragons at this point. Yeah.
It's pretty funny.
I got a little excited and I already started to crack this pack. Yeah. Sorry. I mean, it's because I knew that we were gonna have that territorial Hark.
The Rock Marsh Hulk.
Yeah, yeah. It's just it's actually the first Anticipate we've opened.
That is. This card is seeing a lot of play in Standard. I don't like it as much as most people because I feel like I would rather just draw threats and lands than having to anticipate into something. But in decks where you want to try and field dig through time, or you have just like a bunch of one-ofs that you want to try and find, that's when you really want to anticipate. But I kind of feel like in the next few weeks, as the format starts to change, we'll see less and less of them being played. But the card's very good, and I actually like it in Modern more than I like it in Standard.
Yeah, one sweet thing about Anticipate, or my preferred way to Anticipate, is by hitting them with a 5/4 dragon.
Yeah, that works for me.
Dragon Lord Ojutai. All right. We have Savage Ventmaw, which has a sweet name.
It does have a sweet name, and it's actually very abusable in Commander. So you're not going to see this card very much in Standard, but if you're playing at the kitchen table with your friends, you can use this card with something like, what's the name of it? It's the 3-mana red enchantment that you can pay 5 mana to untap all your creatures and attack again. I believe it's in Odyssey. And actually, if you check out one of the 4-player Commander videos that we did here on StarCityGames.com, John Suarez is playing a Tarka and actually gets that combo and just kills. They're doing 2-headed giant. He just kills the other team because he had this and that enchantment. It's pretty sweet.
That's pretty sweet. And there's also that dragon from Zendikar that does a similar thing too.
Yep.
So yeah, you can go crazy with Savage Ventmaw. But why's it gotta be the kitchen table? Why can't it be the dining room table?
I mean, that works too.
All right, fine. And we have a Foul Renewal.
The art's pretty sweet.
The art is actually really sweet.
I think that's supposed to be Silumgar spitting some bees.
Why does Silumgar spit bees? That doesn't make any sense.
I don't know.
I mean, shouldn't he be spitting like Tazagars?
No, he wears Tazagar.
Okay. Maybe it's Tazagar spitting some bees.
Could be. So this is, it's able to bring a creature card from your graveyard to your hand.
Yep.
And then target creature gets -X on a turn, where X is the toughness of the creature. So that's pretty sweet, and I imagine Design is wanting you to use this to bring back your awesome dragons.
Yeah.
But there's a land that does that. and I'd rather just play lands than pay 4 mana for this.
You know where this card is really good, though, is actually in Limited, where you can morph down one of your Megamorph dragons, block one of their creatures, and foul renewal it back to your hand.
Yeah, and they're usually pretty big. So
Yeah,
you get to kill something.
They're formidable sized.
Yeah, I definitely can see that. I feel like this card probably should have been an uncommon, though.
Yeah, I mean,
as opposed to a rare. Although, it's a pretty powerful effect in Limited.
It probably would have been too good as an uncommon. Kind of like Impact Tremors is too good as a common.
Yeah.
No? No one? Okay.
This is my god.
Oh, hey, here's a Dragon Spirit.
A Scion of Ugin. It's just a 4/4 flying colorless creature. It's not an artifact. I think the card's just very good.
Yeah, I think it's just cool that we see another colorless creature that's not an artifact. We haven't seen those since, like, the Eldrazi.
Yeah, which, conveniently, happen to be coming back in the next standalone, Battle for Zendikar.
Ooh.
So I imagine we'll see some more colorless creatures.
Probably. Hopefully it's not Emrakul the Aeon's Torn again.
God, I hope not.
Now, this is actually a really awesome rare that we opened here, Collected Company. Really interesting effect, and it's really powerful, too.
It is. It's a great tool, especially against control decks, where you're able to press the action and push their hand on their turn, where you can untap into more things on your turn. Especially when we're in this world where control decks are just going to tap out to play a dragon and think they're going to be safe, where you can, end step Collected Company, put 2 guys into play, cast a Surak, and then just bash your opponent over the head.
Yeah, and one of the other sweet things about Collected Company is, like, you get to put 2 creatures in with 3 or less mana. It's actually kind of cool in Modern. There's some Modern decks bringing up that use this card. There's a creature from Cold Snap, Garza's Assassin. You can sacrifice to destroy a creature. People have been using it with that, but you can also use it with Viscera Seer, Malira, and Kitchen Finks as well.
I think we might have seen that combo before.
Yeah, perhaps in a Birthing Pod deck.
Yes.
We don't have Birthing Pod anymore, but we
No.
can still collect a company.
Yeah, Collected Company. You can even use Congregation at Dawn to go through your deck and put 3 creature cards on top of your deck.
Wow. That is a
So
wombo
you can
combo.
draw your Viscera Seer, cast that, cast your Viscera Seer, and then gain infinite life.
Seems pretty good.
Yeah.
Seems
If
at least
you're into that sort of thing.
which I am, so. I don't know about anyone else, but
Yeah, it's really sweet when they get print cards and they start seeing play in Eternal formats. Like, cards in these formats don't rotate, so you got to be pretty good to break in.
you don't even need Malira anymore, though. You can actually use the new Anafenza Kintry Spirit as well.
You can.
Which hopefully is in this pack. Wouldn't that just be awesome?
Maybe.
And it's Profaner of the Dead.
Yeah. I think this card is going to see more play as we move forward into the format. I think it's just a very, very good sideboard card against decks that want to use stuff like this.
Deathmatch Raptor, just, send them all back.
Yep.
Send them home.
I don't want to kill them because there's no value, but you can pick them all up again.
Yep. Try to recast all those guys again. Have fun with that.
Yeah.
If my opponent did that to me, it would definitely cause me to lose calm.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's all I got. That's all I got about that one. But Evolving Wilds is back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a feeling that Evolving Wilds is always going to be back.
Yeah.
It's like going to be like in every set forever.
It's like Divination. It's just in every set.
Pretty much.
Yeah. All right. And our rare here is Illusory Gains. And this card is honestly not that good. But what is interesting about it is, like, they pretty much stopped printing these kinds of cards.
Yeah. They don't print control magic cards very often, and when they do, they try their best to make them bad.
Yep.
Because not only are the cards very powerful, but it's just not a very good feeling to spend, 6 mana on your sweet card that you opened, to have your opponent take it from you and then beat you with it.
Yeah, that
Like,
just feels...
It just doesn't feel very good.
It is what we call a feel-bad moment.
Yeah, and I imagine it also felt bad. I believe there was a moment at the Pro Tour where a Sidisi Undead Vizier was cast. Illusory Gains triggered and took control of it, and then the person couldn't exploit because then their opponent would get to actually search their deck because they controlled the Sidisi.
Oh wow, that's actually really cool.
That is pretty neat.
Kind of a weird thing you wouldn't expect to see.
Yeah.
All right, we are getting low on packs here. We're getting towards the end.
I mean, we've already opened a foil Dragonlord Silmagar and a regular Ojutai. I would like to open some more Dragonlords.
I want to open another Deathmist Raptor because I want Lizard Beast to tie it up. I'm on the Lizard. I'm on
if
team.
it's a foil Deathmist Raptor, does it pull in the head?
Yes, it does. Oh, it ties it up.
Yeah,
it ties
I was
it
gonna say
up.
we got
Dramoka's Gift. I'm pointing this out because this is my favorite card from the set in terms of limited.
It is a very BBD card.
It is. It is just. I mean, it's such a powerful card in limited.
Yeah.
People can't play around it. Even if they kill your smallest creature, you still get to bolster onto the next guy. And I don't know. It's just so much fun to attack and have your opponent not be able to do anything because of this card.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where it's a pump spell that's more like an enchantment that they can't actually interact with. So it's not like they can get rid of the enchantment, and it's just going to put 4 counters on something, especially if you have multiple creatures.
I'm just going to say that I liked this card so much that I started answering every question with Bolster 4 that people would ask me. That was just my answer to everything. So, and we have Pitiless Horde.
I actually like Pitiless Horde. There's a long history of 5/3 black creatures for 3 mana that have seen play.
Yep.
Going back to Phyrexian Negator.
There's also some Earwig squad action.
And I think that at some point this card might see some play. I don't think right now is it because Bileblight is everywhere.
Yeah.
But I think at some point Pitiless Horde could see some play.
Yeah, it's definitely a giant creature for very cheap. Can do a lot of damage to you and your opponent.
And it has dash.
It has dash, so you can slap them for 5 for 4 mana and then not have to take the damage.
Yeah.
All right, let's see what Lizard Beast we can get out of this pack. If we don't open another Lizard Beast, I'm going to totally...
Champion of Irration.
Dragon Fodder, yeah.
Let's see what we got here.
Scaleguard Sentinels. This card could see some play at some point.
I definitely could. I tried it out for a bit, actually, in the Green-Eye Dragons deck, because I wanted like an early drop that could pressure my opponents. But it's very, very embarrassing against Corsair Crewfix.
That is true, but Corsair Crewfix is not long for this world.
That is correct.
A couple months, maybe, I don't know how many months. Not too long, but it's going to be gone soon.
Once we start battling for Zendikar, Corsair can get out of here.
Yeah, he can get out of here. We have Irration Foremost. It's my second favorite Foremost card in Standard.
It is.
It's right behind Anafenza the Foremost.
Yeah, I actually like Irration Foremost, and in fact, I tried to build a Green-White Warriors deck that I wrote about the first week that Dragons of Tarkir was legal, because you have some sweet warriors. Sunblade Elf is a warrior, Seeker of the Way is a warrior.
Heir of the Wilds.
Heir of the Wilds. Surak, the Hunt Caller. Oh, nasty Suraxty.
Wow.
Is actually a warrior. So, you have the potential to do a lot of damage out of nowhere. But the downside is a lot of times you're just playing a 3-mana 2/2 double strike, and in a world of 4/5s for 4, it's just not good enough.
Yeah, there's also Fabled Hero as well, which hasn't really seen much play and has basically the same stats.
Yep.
All right.
See what we got here.
See if we got some sweet things. We have Boltwing Marauder as our rare.
Yeah, it's just, again, another one of those
rare dragons.
Rare dragons, 2-color dragons. Just playable. Just dragons. What are they? Big flying creatures.
Yeah, and I mean, it's a 5-power dragon for 5. It does a lot of damage. Play something like Hordling Outburst, it can do an enormous amount of damage. So
yeah.
It actually does have the potential to see some play at some point. However, it is competing with Kolaghan and Storm's Fury, so
yeah. And Stormbreath Dragon.
Yeah, I mean that's
and
true.
Sarkhan the Dragon Speaker. There's just a lot of real good 5-mana dragons.
There are.
But I think that's why Thunderbreak Regent is just so good, because it's 5-mana dragon stats for 4 mana.
Yeah, that is true. None of the other colors get access to that kind of a card, but it does make sense that red gets the dragon that does that. All right. We have a Commune with Lava as our rare. I almost actually skipped past it, thinking it was an uncommon, but yeah.
Yeah, this card is, it's pretty much bulk, but I think at some point it has potential to see play because it's an instant, and the effect goes through your next turn. So you can play it on your turn, play a land that you hit with it, and then you get to cast those spells on your next turn. So, I mean, it has a lot of potential. If there's ever like a big red deck, let's say we get a Mind Stone in the next set, I could definitely see it seeing some play. Yeah, there could be some sort of control deck with Outpost Siege and Commune with Lava that plays a lot of removal spells and tries to win that way. Yep. Right. We have only like 4 packs after this one, so we're getting down to the wire.
Yeah, we are getting down to the wire, and I'm still holding out hope for a Lizard Beast win. But we did not open a Lizard Beast. We opened a Mirror Mockery. This card is a mockery of everything I stand for.
It is. Although I do think it's real cute to put that card on like your opponent's Neutrino.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that's really about it. I guess you could also put it on your opponent's Dragon Lord Tarka.
Ah, that's pretty sweet. In Limited is actually pretty good. You can put it on a lot of exploit creatures, and it's actually really good.
Yeah, that's actually pretty sweet.
So there's a lot of sweet things you can do with this in Limited. Not as much in Constructed.
Yeah. Although it is an aura, so you could find it with Pilgrim of Heliod.
You could do that. I'm not saying you should, but you could do that.
You could put it on your Pilgrim, and then attack and get another Pilgrim.
And get another Mirror Mockery off of it?
Yeah, duh.
And then put it on that Pilgrim?
Sure.
Yeah, alright, that sounds great. I'm already in.
Alright, somebody let Tom Ross know.
Alright, we have a Volcanic Vision, not to be confused with Commune with Lava, even though they both look the same and aren't that exciting.
Yeah, Volcanic Vision is just, what is it? It's 7 mana. You get an instant and then does damage. Instant or sorcery.
It does damage to all their creatures.
All their creatures. I think that if this also hit the opponent in addition to the creatures, it might have some potential.
Yeah, it could be.
The fact that it only hits the creatures makes it not good.
It could be a good card for a commander, though.
That is true.
Get back a sweet creature and kill them all. Is it all of your opponents? Or?
It's instant or sorcery, and it does damage to all your opponents. So yeah, you definitely could see it seen some play in commander. You know, you play like Time Warp, and then cast that and get back your Time Warp and do 5 to all their creatures, and then cast the Time Warp again.
That sounds fun.
It does sound fun.
For you and not anybody else. No.
Which is the theme of Commander, right?
I guess so, yeah. Alright, let's get this guy out of here. He's not in the sweet pile. Unless you like to get back your time.
Oh, Lightning Berserker.
Yeah, this card is pretty good.
It's very good. It's seen play in the aggressive red decks. The one that Martin Dang won the Pro Tour with. He had it. And I believe in testing, they called that card Lava Axe with Buyback.
Ooh. that is pretty good. And we're really coming to find out that Dash is actually a really powerful mechanic.
Yeah, it plays around sorcery speed removal. It gives your creature haste so you can push through damage. It's just very, very good.
It gives these decks a way to beat cards like Drown in Sorrow.
Yeah, which before was almost impossible.
Do you know what's a better mechanic than Dash?
What?
Hexproof.
Yeah.
But not on that guy. Here's another sweet Dash creature.
Yeah.
Ambuscade. That guy's really good in Limited. I'm not going to try to pronounce his name, but he's good in Limited.
He's a shaman.
Yeah, he's part of Shamans of Tarkir.
Shamans of Tarkir.
Yeah.
We do have
Anafenza. Yeah, so I talked about this card a little bit in Modern, where you can do some sweet combos with it. But it's also a card that is pretty powerful in Standard as well, and it's not really seeing that much play right now, but that's not to say that it won't.
Yeah, I think that you, above all people, tried to make the card work initially.
Yep.
With your love for all things Heliod and mono white.
Except for Heliod's Pilgrim. I don't like Heliod's Pilgrim.
Yeah.
I like the rest of Heliod.
The only playable Heliod card.
Unfortunately,
there just isn't. The double white is real tough.
Right.
So there's just not seeing a whole lot of play in Standard. But like you said, in Modern, it is seen play in the Collected Company combo deck because of the way that it works with Persist. So how counters work with -1/-1 and +1/+1 counters. If a creature has a -1/-1 counter on it and it were to get a +1/+1 counter, it just they negate each other.
Yep.
So when you have your Kitchen Finks that comes into play off of Persist, and if you have Anafenza in play, it'll just come into play as a normal Kitchen Finks without a counter on it, either negative or positive. And then you can sack it to your Viscera Seer and just rinse and repeat for infinity.
Yeah, I mean, it actually does trigger. Your opponent does have a chance to respond, but it'll bolster, and you can actually put the counter on another 1 toughness creature if you want to.
Yeah.
But you probably don't. All right, let's see what this pack has for us.
That's actually a good point. You have to make sure that you let the Persist happen where it gets the -1/-1 counter, and then the bolster. That way you can bolster on the Kitchen Finks, and you're not forced to bolster onto the Viscera Seer.
Yep, absolutely. And let's see, we have a wow.
This has been a good box.
This has been a good box. We get a Bard Narset Transcendent, one of the last packs.
Goes along with her emblem, and Narset is a card that I really want to be good. I love these kinds of cards. I don't quite think that we're there yet, just because Ojutai is just a much better option as far as to try and win the game and generate card advantage.
Yep.
But I think at some point we might get to where Narset's very good.
When I was testing for the Pro Tour, I spent days testing a deck with 4 Narsets because I love this card. It's really great. It works well with other Planeswalkers. The deck that I was testing, every card in the deck except for lands was something you could get with Narset.
And then you'd still miss a bunch.
And then you still miss on land sometimes. But, whatever. The card's really sweet, and yeah, that's really cool that we got to open one. I'm gonna keep it over here with the emblem though. Actually, let's put it right there.
So far, Dragons are still winning though.
They are still winning. However, we have one singular pack left to go. So
foil Deathmist Raptor.
All right, let's bust into this and see. All right, I'm gonna slowly get rid of these.
Duress.
Let's see. Vegetation, Dual Lurker, Deadly Wanderings, Moment of Truth.
What do we got?
Hedonist Trove.
Yeah, that's not Deathmist Raptor.
No, it's not.
It's not.
It's not even close.
It's a like an awkward Yawgmoth's agenda for your opponents. So it comes into play, exiles all the cards in your opponent's graveyards.
Yep.
And then you can play one of them each turn. I mean, it's kind of sweet since we have fetch lands. Might be able to get some land drops out of it. But 7 mana is a lot for a card that's much worse than Dragonlord Ojutai.
It really feels like a what's that card that it's Sultai colors, and you get to exile a bunch of cards from the top of their deck and put them into play.
Villainous Wealth.
Villainous Wealth. It feels like a Villainous Wealth style card, where you get to play their lands and use their lands to cast their spells.
Yeah.
But it is extremely slow at 7 mana.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, it looks like that's all the packs we have for today. And
I would say that this box was very successful. We had a Deathmist Raptor, a Den Protector, a couple commands, an Ojutai, a Narset, and a foil Dragonlord Silumgar.
Yeah, that is value, as they say.
It's a lot of value.
A lot of value. Not only is it awesome, it is probably worth a lot of money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, regular ones are like almost $20.
So yeah, that is pretty sweet.
Money in the bank.
Well, you have to go to the bank first and sell the cards first.
Yeah, I mean, and this isn't like an out of average box. Like, I think this is what you can expect outside of like the foil Dragonlord. Like, I can imagine you just get like 2 regular Dragonlords.
Yeah.
Or another good rare instead of the Dragonlord. There's still cards like Sarkhan that you could have opened, all of the other Dragonlords, Haven of the Spirit Dragon. Like, there are a lot of great cards in this set that are worth a substantial amount of money, especially the foil versions. So, I mean, if you're looking to bust some packs and try and make some money and have fun doing it, Dragons of Tarkir is the way to go.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely had fun. We opened some really gassy cards. We also opened Blessed Reincarnation, but we'll forget about that. So
That's true. Now, if you enjoyed our unboxing here, make sure you check out some of our other unboxing videos. This is the first dual unboxing video, but I know Brian and I have done some solo unboxing videos, as well as we have some other ones that we did with personalities here at Star City Games. So make sure you check those out, as well as like and subscribe to the channel.
yeah, and let us know in the comments what you think about our dual unboxing and also some of the sweet cards that we opened.
Absolutely.